The government says it expects developers to spend up to an additional £4 billion to fix the cladding crisis. At least 500,000 flat owners are unable to sell their properties because of safety issues discovered in the wake of the Grenfell Tower fire. The Housing and Communities Secretary, Michael Gove, will set out the proposals next week, but Newsnight's Lewis Goodall has all the details. He's here with me, so what do we know?
Yes, Clive, we've seen a letter from the Chief Secretary to the Treasury, Simon Clarke, to Michael Gove, the Levelling Up Secretary, which essentially lays out in detail what Mr Gove is going to announce next week. The big headline is that around £4 billion of money will be made available to leaseholders in buildings between 11 metres and 18.5 metres to pay for dangerous cladding removal costs. Now, that's big news because up to now, the government's policy has been that only payments will be made for buildings over 18.5 metres. Critics have long said that that's an arbitrary figure and it should be changed. So, important step forward for many leaseholders involved. But the critics will say there are a few caveats. First of all, this new money will not cover non-cladding problems, of which there are legion. Many have been discovered since Grenfell. Secondly, it's not clear exactly what the process will be for the government to raise that money. The Treasury is making clear in this letter that it will not come from the taxpayer. It must come from developers. Developers historically have been very reluctant to pay for defects which they say aren't their responsibility. And thirdly, and I think this is most important and will be really important in Parliament next week, the Chief Secretary to the Treasury makes clear that if there is a shortfall, then that money must come from, as I say, not from the taxpayer, but from existing departmental budgets from in the Department for Housing, which will hardly be ideal if you're in a situation where existing housing budgets, when we have a housing shortage overall, are being used to pay for these problems.
Sure. OK, Lewis, thank you. Lewis Goodall there. And there'll be more details and reaction with Lewis on Newsnight. That's over on BBC Two. That's at 10:30.